Artificial intelligence is popping up everywhere these days, right? It's changing everything from medicine to money. But honestly, the most fascinating place it's showing up might just be the world of art, where lines of code are actually learning how to be creative. And that brings us to this big, kind of philosophical question. Can a machine, a piece of software, truly be considered an artist? To figure that out, we're going to take a deep dive into one of the most powerful and popular tools leading this charge, a little thing called Midjourney. So here's our game plan. First, we'll talk about how AI even creates art in the first place. Then we'll peek under the hood to see how Midjourney really works. After that, I'll walk you through how to create your very first image, we'll tackle that big man versus machine debate, and then we'll wrap up by looking at what the future of all this might look like.
All right, let's jump right in. What makes a tool like Midjourney such a massive game changer? It's pretty simple, actually. It lets anyone, and I really, truly mean anyone, create these stunning, incredibly complex pieces of art from nothing more than a single sentence.
And listen, this isn't some far-off sci-fi future technology we're talking about. It is happening right now. Content creators are using it for their social media, for YouTube thumbnails. Even professional design agencies are getting in on it. It's this incredible blend of a human idea and an AI's ability to execute it. So that leads to the really obvious question, right? How is any of this even possible? How can a machine take a simple phrase out of your head and turn it into something so detailed, so realistic, and sometimes just plain beautiful? Well, the speed that this tech is evolving at is just staggering. Midjourney was founded by David Holes, who also co-founded Leapmotion. And get this, it only entered its public beta in the middle of 2022. But by the end of 2023, version 6 was out and it was already creating images with absolutely mind-blowing detail. Okay, so at the very heart of Midjourney's magic is a clever little algorithm called Generative Adversarial Networks. It's a mouthful, I know, so most people just call them GANs. And it's basically a system that teaches itself how to create. And this is the best way to understand it. Think of it like a never-ending battle between an art forger and an art detective. On one side, you've got the generator. That's the forger. Its job is to create a brand new image that looks totally real. And on the other side, you have the discriminator, our detective. Its only job is to figure out if the image is a fake. The forger gets feedback every time it gets caught. It learns, and it tries again and again and again until it finally creates something so good that it fools the detective. Now, the second piece of the puzzle is something called a recurrent neural network, or an RNN. Just think of this as the AI's short-term memory. It reads your text prompt one word at a time, but it actually remembers the words that came before it. This is so important because it allows the AI to understand the full context, that you don't just want a lion, a crown, and a sunset. You want a lion with a crown at sunset. It gets the whole picture. All right, enough with the theory. The best way to really wrap your head around this stuff is to just see it in action. So let's walk through exactly how you can create your very first AI-generated image. In Midjourney, everything starts with one simple command, /imagine. You just type that, and then you follow it up with what's called a prompt, which is really just a fancy word for a description of whatever you can think of. For instance, a lion with a crown in a sunset. And seriously, getting started is surprisingly easy. First, you head over to the Midjourney website and click Join the Beta. That'll send you an invite to their community on an app called Discord. Once you're in, you find a channel called Newbies, type your /imagine prompt, and within about a minute, the AI gives you 4 totally unique options. From there, you just pick your favorite, you upscale it into a high-resolution image, and download it. That's it. But, as you can probably guess, when millions of people get access to a tool this powerful, it's going to spark a huge, and sometimes pretty heated debate. Is this really art? And what does this all mean for human artists? This whole debate absolutely exploded into the mainstream in 2022 at the Colorado State Fair. An image made with Midjourney actually won first prize in the digital art category. The creator, a guy named Jason Allen, was the one who wrote the prompt, but the AI did all the drawing. The judges had no idea AI was involved, but here's the kicker. They later said that even if they had known, it wouldn't have changed their decision. It still would have won.
And that was hardly a one-off thing. Italy's leading newspaper published an entire comic strip made with Midjourney. There was a children's book called Alice and Sparkle that was illustrated completely with it. So clearly, this technology isn't just a toy. It's being integrated into the professional creative world, and fast.
So, does this all mean we're headed for a man versus machine showdown? Is it all about replacement? Or is there maybe another way to look at this?
Let's explore what a more collaborative future might look like.
This quote right here really gets to the heart of it. What if, instead of seeing AI as a competitor, we start seeing it as a powerful new collaborator? A tool that can work with human creativity to spark a totally new kind of revolution in art.
So, the most important thing to remember is this. There is always a human mind behind the AI. Someone is crafting the prompt, guiding the output, making the creative choices. The real power here isn't in the AI by itself, it's in blending these incredible new tools with our own uniquely human vision and creativity.
And that leaves us with one final, really big and exciting question. As these tools get even more powerful and become a normal part of our lives, the focus starts to shift. It's not about what a machine can create anymore. It's about what we can create together.